Man, I just want to say thanks to Jordan Wilson for coming out tonight. Man, this is our biggest show on the early yet with 75 attendees. I was watching that. I was like, I sent out all these invitations, just kept doing it. It's like I think I invited every Ashley that I know, right? Or every Ashley that I'm connected to. I thought, hey, that's cool because I don't know, you send invitations, I'm sure, on LinkedIn, right? And you can see and there's a ton of people in the house who've got shows, and they are they LinkedIn's like, hey, just invite, like go crazy. And you can select, and then you type in somebody's name, and I typed in Ashley, and I can't remember who it was now I want to invite, but I'm like, okay, all the Ashleys. So I just like, okay, there's like 25 of them. All right, so we got Stephen Ng in the house. We got Amar Murphy here. We got Ken Dunner. Yes. No, okay, Ken. All right, do I have to say savor the flavor? I mean, because, I'll be sophisticated. Savor the flavor. There it is, baby. All right, I love it. All right, so I've got Jordan Wilson with me tonight. Excited to have a guest for the first time in this kind of newfangled version of the show, right? That, been scheduling these things, not just kind of going whenever I feel like it and surprising y'all. So we got Sarah Hughes here. All right, she's new to this show. She might be one of Jordan's friends. We got Kelly's a regular. She's been in this house a lot. Melissa Houston is here as well. All right. So where are we? It is Tuesday. Now, Jordan, how do you feel about Tuesday? You like Tuesdays?
Tuesdays are good.
Okay.
I'm a fan of Wednesdays.
Okay.
I like Wednesdays. It's a nice time to take a break. But Tuesdays, we're almost there. No, right. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm excited to be on is this the late edition, or is this the early edition?
Okay. So I have to explain this every week. First, I'm going to talk about Tuesday. So Tuesday for me is the pinnacle of. I used to play football when I was in high school, right? For a little while. We were talking about this earlier. Tuesday was the worst practice day. If anybody ever played football, it was like the day that was like heavy pads, hit them. Just my head hurt, everything hurt. It was just pain. You sweat and you had to do sprints. I mean, it's the worst day. And I found as an adult, it's like, okay, got through Monday and just like, oh, but still Tuesday. Oh, it's not even halfway. You're just like, oh, just, and I like working and stuff, but it's just Tuesday, weird stuff happens too, right? Like,
well, now
if there's
now
a
I'm
day,
worried. Now I'm worried, Trevor.
Okay, well, you're almost done.
Tuesday stigma before, but now I might.
Okay, but here's the thing: everybody who's here tonight, we got Megan in the house, Susanna's in the house, right? Got LinkedIn user. Okay, Damien. Damien. Okay, Damien, thank you. Restream is translating you to LinkedIn user. All right, but I got you, buddy. I got you. All right. You've almost made it, right? You've almost made it through Tuesday, which means tomorrow is the halfway point of the week, right? It's hump
Love
day.
The halfway point.
Okay, it's the hump day, right? That's all good. The implications of that, right? And then Thursday is by far the best day of the week because you're anticipating Friday, and then smooth sailing into the weekend. Okay, so Tuesday, so we come together on the early. We'll talk about that for 1 second. We come together on Tuesday night because this marks the point at which we have crossed through the hardest part of the week. Okay, it's over. It's behind us. Okay, it's a good juicy stuff coming. All right. So the early. Why do we call it the early? Because it's 3:30 a.m. in London right now. Okay. And LinkedIn, which this is mostly a LinkedIn show, okay, runs off a GMT, okay? So according to LinkedIn, we are stinking early, all right? And we might be the first show of the day. I don't know. We could be. I don't know well, maybe not, because that would have to be like 3 hours ago, and then that's no fun because all the West Coasters can't show up. In any case, it's early enough. All right, so Sarah, thank you for coming in. Steven, I love seeing you here. All right, so you guys got to hit those comments because that's what it's all about, right? So last week, all right, here's another little note, and I actually want to bring this up with you, Jordan, so don't let me forget. We want to talk about copyright infringement issues. Yes, because generative AI is kind of flirts with that either sort of directly or indirectly, right? There's been some ethical implications, right? So last week, a lot of my friends were here. Ryan, thank you for coming. All right, thank you. So last week I read an excerpt from the book Atomic Habits, and it's actually still sitting here on my desk. All right, and I did not reach out to James Clear prior to reading an excerpt from his book, and he didn't call me or anything. I mean, that would have been crazy, but no, I read it like verbatim, and all the comments stopped. Right, and I was like, whoa, hey guys, come on! I need the comments. You know, we need the love. I can't just do this in a vacuum. Well, turns out that it's a good thing I stopped, because it was copyright infringement 100%. Like, it wasn't derivative work. It's like, okay, you can sort of get away with like derivative work, like synopsis and reviews, stuff like that. Or we could record like, like what did you think of this, of this passage, that kind of thing. But to read like an audiobook, yeah.
Yeah, I seem to have forgotten that class back in journalism school 20 some years ago, right? But yeah, I think that's a thing,
It's
there's
a
certain number of seconds that it's like fair use, but then after that, apparently it's bad.
Yeah, no, it's real bad. And this is a real big book too. And I'm sure James is very protective, or he better be. If I owned that book, I'd be protective of it. Right. So Anastasia Munn, thank you for coming in from Toronto. It is late where you are. And again, Ryan Carpenter, thank you, sir, for coming in. Ken Dunner, look at this. Dude, we are up for it. We are up for it. All right. Because I'm going to put Jordan on the hot seat. I know, just as soon as I kind of bring it down a notch, just I get kind of amped up a little bit. Abimbola is coming all the way from Nigeria. All right. So she's living north of Lagos, right? Lagos. I think I got that right. Lagos. She corrected me once. So Abimbola has been on the Hot Leisure Show, and she's awesome, right? She's like the greatest, like the best on, like the best style of solo creator out here, right? It's like she inspires me, because like literally I said, don't you ever sleep? And she says, well, yeah, sure. In between blackouts, right? So she's got these they brown out or they blackout stuff, right? And like she can't literally get on. So when she has a chance to get on, even though it's, it is actually literally 3:30 in the morning for her right now.
It's dedication.
There's no competition for the power, right? No competition for the bandwidth. So she can get on and she can work and she can comment and all that. All right. So keep up the comments, gang. Keep them up. We are working on a pace of at least 6 a minute. All right. We got to hit that, or we're going to do better. We got to get 6, 8, 10, something like that. So, okay. All right. So notifications should have rolled out. We have been on for 8 minutes now. Our audience should be starting to kind of trickle in, and I'm seeing some folks in the house. All right. So Jordan, I want to put the spotlight on you. Why did I invite you in here? Right. Why?
No clue. I think it was when you were inviting all the Ashleys.
It could have been
different Jordan. It could
have been. And last week, I invited every Nicole that I knew, right? Because I was inviting, Nicole Angai Galindo, right? Because she was getting an invite no matter what, and I'm looking, and I've got 25 Nicole, so I invited all of them, right? So every Nicole. So this week it's every Ashley that I know. Next week it'll be every Melissa, right? But I only know one Abimbola, so there we go. Bronwood, thank you, coming here from South Africa, right? Is it an hour, maybe 2 hours later? I mean, Africa's a big continent, Okay, so Bronwood, Abimbola, if you don't know, if you're educated in the U.S. The maps that we get, right, are, and I don't know what African issued maps look like, but here in the U.S., it makes the U.S. look kind of middle size, right? And Canada looks massive, right? And Africa looks kind of like average-ish, right? It's not like impressive, but it's bigger. It's bigger than North America. So you kind of got to get your brain around that a little bit. So it's I don't know, South Africa. In any case, she's down there. It's a long way away. Thank you for coming, Bronwyn. One of my coworkers that I work with all the time is actually a couple of them down there. It's awesome. Okay, 103 degrees, Ken Dunner. I love it. Oh, wow, that is hot. That is hot, right? I'm like 85 and I'm smoking out, but I got no AC. Okay, all right. Trying to slow down here, Jordan. I want to turn it to you because we are here. I invited you in here because I pick up your show now and then at 5:30 a.m. my time.
Oh. So you got up early for my show. I'm staying up late because for me it's 9:40, which doesn't seem late, but sometimes I'm an old man. I'm 37 going on 73. So this is usually my bedtime.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to match your energy, Trevor. I'm gonna try to.
Hey, you know what? Just just gotta let it go here. You're in a safe space. We got Tanya Bugby in the house right now. It's 79 in San Diego. Can you imagine? All right, another story, personal story. All right, so I've been telling you guys last week if you were here, my son, 23, almost 24. He is a competitive salsa dancer. All right. I mean, I know I come across as like a dancing guy, but I'm not. All right. I'm kind of stiff. Right. I'm sort of one of these kind of guys. Well, he's like dedicated and he competes. So he drives with 3 friends down to Tijuana. All right. Tijuana, Mexico. And,
wow.
And I know. That's what 23-year-olds do. So he drives down, he goes over the border. They spend 2.5 days or whatever at this dancing festival thing. And then they proceed to drive back. So, I've been to Tijuana. I remember Tijuana. This was probably 20 years ago or maybe 30 years ago or something. And okay, I'm not going back. Right. That's not, I felt like I just barely got out of there alive. So in any case, my son is home now. He made it home. They drove like all night. They switched drivers. They're home. He's safe. So I'm happy about that. All right. Where was I? So 5:30 a.m. is when your show runs. But it's fire. Okay, who was that dude? Was it Warfield? Did I get that right?
Corey.
Corey. Yes,
Corey Warfield on a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
man, that dude is a boss. All right,
he's brilliant.
He is brilliant, and he just has got it all like right there. All right, Dr. Rastafa, thank you for coming in. Okay, so Corey and I mean, he's laying out some new stuff, and he's talking about all of these other AI tools. Right. And I'm listening to you and I'm listening to him and I'm thinking, holy crap. I don't know what's going on. Like, I kind of think, I've got a subscription to ChatGPT. I got GPT-4, right? I'm cool. I think I'm cool. Right? I got Midjourney, right? I got the $10 version of Midjourney. I'm in, right? My son has got he's working on I got 2 sons. So the other one, he's working on a GPT project of his own over the summer. So that's happening.
Ooh,
that's pretty fun. And he's using it to code and whatnot. And anyway, and we share an account. So I can see his prompts and stuff. And sometimes we laugh at each other, but in any case, I'm like, okay, whoa. I don't know anything. Right. I really, truly don't. And I literally cannot keep up with your stuff. But as I'm starting to listen to you, right, I'm starting to listen to you talk. I'm thinking, okay, here's somebody who's not full of himself and full of it, right? Like, and that's what you bring. And that's why I was so excited to bring you in, because I feel like everybody who's in this audience tonight, that's what they value most. They value authenticity. They value somebody who's accessible, somebody who is who's kind of willing to learn along the way, right? And not afraid to like just show up and like try stuff, right? So it was Darth Vader eating cake, right? Yeah. Okay, we're gonna do that. All right. So,
that was you, right? That was yours.
That was me. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go.
And then,
great suggestion.
Somebody built on it Darth Vader eating cake on Pegasus, which then really opened it up, right? And I couldn't for the life of me remember what's the name of where Lando Calrissian lived? What was the Cloud City? Was there was a name for it? If anybody in the house knows the name of Cloud City, if that had a name or a land or whatever. Anyway, all right. So Jordan, I want to give it back to you. Okay. So EverydayAI, where did that come from? How long have you been doing it? What's your plan for it?
Good questions. Can I just say, I don't know. No. So EverydayAI. So I'm going to start in the present and I'll probably hit rewind at some point. So okay. Started it about 4 months ago. Okay. And we literally, it is the name describes exactly what it is. It is Monday through Friday, take the weekends off kind of.
Yeah.
But we are helping everyday people learn generative AI. So every day trying to bring on a different guest so people can learn from them. Right. Cause like what you said, Trevor, I'm not a know-it-all. I'm just like everyone else, trying to learn and trying to keep up. I might be a little dorkier than the average person. I might be a little more technical, but I'm the same way. You kind of mentioned, Trevor, like, it's hard to keep up, right? Like you hear us talking, you hear me talking, you hear other people. Y'all, it's hard for me to keep up. And I do this every single day, and it's hard for me to keep up. right?
I 100% hear you. I'm gonna screen share right now. You keep talking, keep telling us about it, but I'm gonna show the audience this thing because it's
there's a
nuts,
lot.
right?
Yeah, there's
Look
a lot
this.
going on.
Look
so
at
you know,
this.
yeah, like I said, bringing on different guests every day. So sometimes it's just people like, your audience. It's solo creators. Sometimes it's, had someone on from IBM this week, so sometimes it's people from big companies who are helping to create the actual technology that we use. And sometimes it's entrepreneurs, it's solo business owners, it's people in HR or salespeople. So it's really everyday people from all walks of life coming together to learn AI and to actually leverage it. That's the biggest thing, right? And that's kind of where our focus is. And what I hope, kind of sets us apart from other people out there is not just like throwing a bunch of news and throwing a bunch of tools, but we spend so much time. And not everyone sees this part, but we do courses. Like I did a course every day. We do free courses, multiple times a week. Trevor, I'm pretty sure you caught one, but we just teach people, right? Like that's what we do. We try to help people understand because it is confusing. If you have no clue and like all you do is you hear people just spit out acronyms into, here's 500 prompts to try today, and here's 600 tools that'll save you, so many hours. It's overwhelming.
It is overwhelming. And I actually tried some of those prompts one time that I found on YouTube. They were garbage. To your point, like they were complete garbage. And I tried to do a Midjourney face swap one time. Well, I keep trying. It does not like me. It's embarrassing what Midjourney does to me. It is whoever that guy is that it makes is not me. And I cannot for the life of me figure that out. I did try the one what the hell is it? I can't. I have Discord shut down right now. But whatever the plugin was. So yeah, like how do we do battle for simple things, right?
Mm-hmm.
This promise of let's make it better. It's gonna make us all better, right? Okay. No, it's just different problems, right?
Yeah. I have very hot takes on this, and it's like, how long is the show, right? Because I could talk for many hours.
All right, well, give me 2 minutes because our comments have slowed down. Tanya, all right, thank you. Coruscant. Now, Coruscant is not where I'm talking about. I'm talking about where Lando lived in The Empire Strikes Back. Up in the clouds, right? So Coruscant came later, right? That was earlier, but you know what I'm saying, like later movies. All right, come on, you guys, throw down some comments, say hi to each other. All right, so hot takes.
Hot takes is
let's hear it.
If you're not spending time in some sort of generative AI, right? So if you have a desk job, which I think most of us do, right? Not everyone does. I get that. But if you have a desk job where you're working on a computer, you're working on the internet, and you're not spending some sort of time in generative AI right now, you are setting yourself up. I'd hate to say this, but you're setting yourself up for failure, right? I talk about this all the time. So, people try to compare generative AI to other recent, technological shifts or to kind of, new 2.0 industries. It's like, it's like social media. Yeah. Like companies had, or individuals had, or small businesses had, or solo creators had 10 plus years to kind of, stiff arm social media away and decide if they were going to use it or not, right? And some companies got by without really, making social media a priority.
And they still do in B2B at least.
Yeah, for sure. But it's not like that with generative AI. People are trying to compare it to other, internet revolutions, so to speak, or the internet itself. It is literally not like that. I've spent more time than I'd like to admit diving into generative AI. And that's one of the reasons I even started the show, because I feel I come from a very dorky background. I've been a writer for 20 years, designing websites, photographer, videographer. And I saw, especially over the last 3 months, the quality of the generative AI, right? We talked about Midjourney. I've taken 500,000 photos, got them published all over the place. When Midjourney first came out, it wasn't that good. Dolly right now, Dolly 2 from OpenAI, not that good.
Yeah.
The version of Midjourney now, I don't care what you say, it is as good or better than anyone. I have 4 DSLRs sitting in my closet. Yeah. I can go take a picture of something, or I can go in Midjourney. The Midjourney picture is going to be better. Period.
All right. 2 questions. One, is have you found your own stuff in Midjourney?
Not yet.
Okay, because it's in there.
Great question.
Right?
It's a great question because even okay. So we talk about Midjourney a lot, but let's talk about Stable Diffusion. So if you're not a dork, it's something kind of similar to Midjourney. But the Stable Diffusion CEO all but admitted, yes, we are stealing photographs, right, to train our models.
Yeah.
Everyone knows because the first versions of Midjourney still had the copyrights on the photos, right? So
yeah.
Right, as far as I know, my photos, I haven't seen them out, but it is kind of like it's a collection. If we say, oh, I'm from Chicago, so the Sears Tower, they're not just taking one photographer's, photos. They're taking millions of people's photos of the Sears Tower. But yeah, it's crazy. And then at what point is there going to be original content on the internet anymore? Right?
Yeah. When?
Like an infinite loop.
Well, that's okay. So if you don't know Amara Murphy, you got to get to know Amara Murphy because she is putting out the original content right now. And you and I are putting out original content right now. Right. And I'm hanging out with some folks, some good friends of mine, and we're talking about this in earnest. Okay. We're talking about what it means to do like this kind of content, right? This sort of live stuff that we're happening right now. And these, generative models, they get to build on what we're doing right now. Right. So in any case, we can give that to them. Now, the second question I almost forgot was hands in Midjourney are still a mess.
Yeah.
When's that? You get like this mutant arm, thalidomide babies, and stuff. When's that?
Believe it or not. Yeah. Oh gosh, it was terrible. That was about 3 to 4 months ago. That was sometimes the only tell is you look at the fingers, you look at the hands, if there's feet. But that's actually gotten a lot better. There was a 5.2 update that just came out about 3 months ago. The 5.3 update should be coming out literally like any hour, any day. So it's not as bad. You kind of have to the fingers are usually kind of there. So yeah, with the 5.3, it's like, I don't even know if the most trained eye is going to be able to tell the difference. It's super scary. We talked about this on my show this morning with Drew Brucker, and we said, is stock photography dead? And we kind of concluded like, if it's not completely dead, it is going to die very soon.
Yeah, I can't imagine how stock photography is even going to remotely stay viable, right? Like okay, so I mean, if I want to, I don't know how that stays viable. I think like portraiture, things like that are great. I mean, why not? All right, we still need that. But yeah, totally. So all right, so we had a question. We had a good question. Leonardo. Now that was one that I have not heard before. Why is no one talking about Leonardo? Now this, I still want to stay kind of on. I want to hold this, right? So Dr. Rostov, I want to hold this until the end, all right? Because I'm going to prompt our actual intelligence, right? So our AI, our actual intelligence in the house tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about what's coming, right? Like, where do we need to put our attention, right? Because there's only us at the end of the day, right? So I'm going to get back to that. If I forget, remind me. Okay. So Everyday AI. So now it's at youreverydayai.com, and it's as a live, right? Every morning, every week.
Every morning. We do it every Monday to Friday.
Sometimes, some days you'll have a guest, some days you won't. And you're doing classes. You did the PPP class, right?
Absolutely.
And PPP stands for, I can't remember.
It's prime prompt polish.
Polish, yes. Okay. So
what'd you think, Trevor? Not to put you on the spot, but what'd you think? Was it helpful?
Dude, I invited you here just so I could angle in. I could make a case for getting the next course for nothing, right? Because I was excited about that, right? No, I loved it. It was really helpful, and it really clarified for me. It was what, an hour maybe?
Yeah.
Give or take an hour. And so and it was like at a reasonable time of day. It was outside of work hours and stuff. So I was really thrilled, and I think you did a really good job of being accessible, right, and present, and not like and my good friend Adam Spocked. Sorry, that's an inside joke. But Adam Spocked, right? No boring training. All right. You did a lot of that good stuff. You let us answer some questions for ourselves, right? You let us kind of dive into into like the why, like why do we care? And so, no, I thought it was a great course. Right. And I'm still like, okay, I need like reminders and prompts and like my own little, like, okay, what did I just learn? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've sent it, and I just email and me are not getting along right now. Like, we're not friends. All right. So you got that, right? So people now, but you've put the PPP courses on hold for a little bit, right? A couple weeks, a month.
Yeah, I put it on hold for a couple weeks, but literally just started it back like yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah, had some traveling, had some family, so put it on hold for a while, but just kicked it back up.
Has it already been 2 weeks? Holy crap!
Yeah.
Where does
time flies?
Where did my life go? I don't know. Okay, I thought that was yesterday. Literally yesterday.
Live streams. That's where it goes.
Okay. So took your class. All right. I recommend everybody do it. It's free. Go sign up. Jordan's great. Reach out to him. Said you saw him on the early, and whichever show I'm on now. Like, okay, yes, this is what we're doing now. It's called the early. You were here, and you want to check it out, and you want to learn how to prime, prompt, and polish your ChatGPT, and get going. All right. So that's your everyday AI.
Great commercial, Trevor. How much do I owe you for that now?
Brother, I just want the next course. Okay, that's it.
I got
because you had some criteria. I had to have a bunch of people like actually finish the PPP and stuff. So I'm setting that up. It's coming.
You're done. Yeah, that's it. I think you finished.
That was what I need to do. All right. So now I got a lot of creators in the house, right? I got Amara Murphy. She's a creator. We got Sam Sierra. She's a like hardcore creator, right? She's going back to homework because it's like midnight there now or whatever. 11. Okay. I know. We got some new folks in the house tonight. Okay. All kinds of, Mike Phillips, right? He's a creator, right? So we've got folks who are all right. I gotta throw that up because, we got wit in the house tonight. We got actual intelligence in the house tonight. All right. And it is after hours. It's late. Okay. Dr. Mustafa. Now I don't remember what your first question was. Okay, Leonardo, we're going to get back to that. All right, hang on. Okay. All right, we got creators. All right, so the thing that I want to know about, right, is your journey from just, photographer, have 500,000 pictures on the interwebs, right, to like you're running Accelerant, right? So now Accelerant is a business that you're running now. Mm-hmm. Is that your only gig, or you got another job, or what are you doing? Like how you running this thing?
Yeah, good question. I ask myself that often. No, yeah. Okay. Accelerant, I'd say is the company that pays the bills. There's a reason that the courses are free, right? There's no, not collecting money, not even throwing ads out right now. Cause we have the podcast, the live stream, we have the newsletter. So we're not even running ads on anything. So Accelerant Agency, started it 4 years ago, started it kind of like halftime, right? Yeah. And then I slowly transitioned into making it my full-time gig, kind of grew it up a little bit. I think, we had 3 full-time, like 5 halftime people, and depending on the project or the season, anywhere from, 3 to 15 contractors helping out on projects. So started a little small, digital strategy company, still have it going, obviously. So we still work with clients. Yep. Okay.
Now, all right. So you said you've got contractors and stuff. So, lots going on. Like how would you say, like, I'm like a 10-person company, or I'm like a 1 person, and how are you set up?
Yeah. So set up.
Maybe you just answered that, and I just like totally just like ADHD just.
That's
so answer
it
again.
That's all good.
Answer it again.
Yeah. Right now, there's only 2 full-time people.
Okay.
And then we do have other contractors that are very consistent that we've had on our team for years.
Gotcha. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's important to know. So is that you and your spouse, or is that you and somebody else?
Yeah, it's me and someone else here in Chicago. Although my spouse she's probably the unpaid. I mean, anyone that started a successful business, it's like, your spouse is probably doing half of the work unpaid. And, I can't pretend that she doesn't. As soon as I get off this, she's probably going to have a list of things for me to start on for, totally. The Everyday AI show. She's going to say, hey, like, we got to build this. We talked about, building up a better podcast setup, because look at yours, right?
Yeah.
But it's the other person is full-time here in Chicago.
Okay. I'm going to take that as a high compliment, by the way. I was listening to that because that's my claim to fame is that this is real.
Good.
All right, so all my new people in the house tonight: Ryan Carpenter, Dr. Restapa. That background is painted. Okay, and I shine green lights on it, and it matches with the how the camera's set. So, okay, yeah, I mean it's important. I think it's important. I'm thank you for answering that, because a lot of people on LinkedIn, particularly a lot of people in this room tonight with us are in partnership, permanent relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spousal or otherwise, and they have partners, right? And sometimes it's like, oh, okay, is this like just a family business, or is it like, because you get somebody who you're not living with, right, like married to, right, or as a sibling, it's like, okay, that's a different kind of business now,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're accountable to different sorts of histories, different sorts of maybe life goals. I mean, other things
Mm-hmm.
can kind of get clunky and get and to me that says, okay, it's not just a solo creator operation, right?
Sure.
Anymore. It's like a, it's like a real business, And
Yeah.
so, all right.
Yeah.
So do you like go to a place, or do you
Yeah.
work from home, or like?
Yeah. We're remote. So we'll go in the office, usually 2 to 3 days a week, and then
Okay.
home, the other 2 to 3 days. So that's kind of, since COVID, that's kind of how it's been. And, kind of when our team was a little bigger, we would kind of rotate it, or if we had, interns or something like that. But yeah. Remote, I hope, is here to stay for most companies. We're going to stick with it because I think it works well.
Yeah. So okay. So a lot of solo creator types suffer from imposter syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like they kind of put their toe in the water or whatever, and that's a thing. So at what point did you say, you know what, I got the chops, I'm good to go, I can sell myself as an agency strategic business accelerator dude, I got a plan, people are going to buy it. Like, how did you kind of overcome that sense of, man, what if they don't dig my ideas?
Sure. I'll say this. If you're an entrepreneur and you started your own business successfully and you don't feel imposter syndrome anymore, I think that means you're just not pushing yourself, right?
Okay.
I still feel it every day. I've had my business now, I don't know, I'm not good at math, 4.5 years. So it's hard to have your own business, like a real legitimate business where you have, employees and contractors and rent and bills. It's hard to go from literally zero. Like I started from zero.
Yeah.
I had no clients. So many people, when they start a business, they're branching off from a different company and they're taking clients with them. So many people, but to start something from zero and to still have it going on is hard, especially when you started it right before the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And all companies are stopping to spend money, but it's hard to do that. But if you don't still have imposter syndrome, I think that just means that you've settled in. And especially as a creator, right? Or even a solo creator, like, look at the times now, right? Look at the times, look at how much different just business is, right? Being remote and hybrid and, post COVID. And now look at the last year, things with AI, right? So if you're a solo creator and you aren't feeling some sort of imposter syndrome, does that just mean that you've lived some life before that had COVID and had generative AI? Like, I don't understand it.
Yeah. Or had emerging changes in the sales and marketing, go to market sort of playbooks that are been like that's really happening right now in B2B. Like that whole GTM, so for those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, like how B2B companies do their thing, right? Like so I'm relating to this, right? This idea of like, if that's insane, just the level of change that we are dealing with, from COVID to generative AI, and now the whole B2B GTM is exploding, and how we're going to deal with that, and on and on and on it goes. Okay, I'll accept that, right? I do think that we need to kind of embrace that natural imposter syndrome kind of action, right? Because I feel it every day. I'm looking at myself saying, God, I've been a seller for a long time, and I have radically changed my approach, right? I mean, to the point of saying, like, look, I don't cold email anymore. do I actually say that? Like, I know I'm not cold. I'll like not just, not doing it. And well, why? Well, because it quit working, right? Nobody would respond. I couldn't do it okay. So, and I'm freaking out, right? Yeah. Because this is a channel that I have depended on for 15 years.
Yeah.
Maybe more. And okay, now I'm done, right? I use it for other things, but that as a channel for me as a solo kind of prospecting AE, it's not nice for the moment, and maybe I'll bring it back. But there you go. Like, is it that the right thing? I don't know. I hope I'm doing other things, but here we are trying to figure this stuff out. So thank you for that. I feel some sort of solidarity with the notion of like, okay, we just got to embrace making it up sometimes, right?
Yeah, and like Trevor, I mean, in all honesty, the other thing that I don't think people are realizing is consumer behavior, I think, is shifting faster than it has traditionally. And again, I don't want to be the guy that always says AI this, AI that, but it's going to change everything, right? Mm-hmm. Because here's what's going to happen, right? Without going off on too long of a rant, what we're going to start to see, and you've probably already started to see it a little bit, is you're going to start to see better, more personalized, more effective content directly at you, mm-hmm. right? So think in the past, maybe 5-10 years ago, you saw a commercial or you saw an ad on your phone, and most of them are garbage and none of them felt like they were for you. Maybe every once in a while. That's not the world that we're going to be living in. Is going to be, because of generative AI and just how technology is going to feel so hyper personalized. It is going to feel scary. So mm-hmm. also what that means is consumer expectations are going to shift as well, right? Like, talk about like personalized video, right? Like, again, deep fakes, whatever. But when you can have your favorite celebrity, you're scrolling Instagram and all of a sudden they're wishing you happy birthday, right? Like, there's apps out there that literally do that. And then, it's, if you click on it, and then you're going to be on your TV, and you're going to start to get personalized ads based on what you and that celebrity have in common, right? The similar interests. Like, it's the expectations of the consumer are changing so fast. So I say that because as a solo creator, a business owner, whatever, if you aren't feeling imposter syndrome, there's a good chance you're going to get crushed, because the consumers are going to be expecting things that in a couple of years that right now feel, I think, unrealistic. But in a couple of years, that's what we're going to have to be delivering to them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I want to speak to this comment by Monica, and I want to say thank you to everybody who's just really, really amped it up in the comments right now. It's so great. So I love it so much. But I want to speak to this right now, because when you're talking about, Monica says, for those of you who are maybe listening to this without the screen, she says, I'm sure AI can cold email for you now. And I think that it probably can. All right. And I think that we might be on the cusp, and I want to get your thoughts on this too, Jordan. And then we're going to switch over to like, where are we headed? We've kind of tipped on that a little bit, but right now, today, 2023, I don't think the quality is there yet mm-hmm. for what the cold email is doing. And I think my perception is that Google has kind of preempted some of this stuff. And so they're saying, hey, we're going to lock down your inbox. We're going to chop this algorithm up to pieces. This algorithm that you thought you knew, this inbox mm-hmm. delivery algorithm. And we're going to make it really hard. So Jesse Ulett talks about this all the time, right? He's the email delivery guy. So, and I believe him, right? Because I have seen legitimate email in my spam, and it's a mess. All right. And so the question becomes, do people want to receive an AI generated cold email now? Right?
Yeah.
Do they want that?
I'll say this, and I'm going to catch some flack for this.
Okay.
If you know how to properly use AI properly, very mm-hmm. few people do. The overwhelming majority of people have no clue. If you know how to properly use AI can do great cold email at scale, because it can do it better than most humans, or at least faster at scale. But yeah, most cold emails are this. It's placeholders, right? It's your name, your company. Hey, if I don't give you 500 qualified leads, Chicago restaurant meal on me, whatever. That's not personalized. And that's the best that humans are doing. Cold email is changing, right? Like there's good cold email programs that now can tap into GPT-4, and it can instantly, and they've been out for a long time, but I think they're becoming more popular. But ones that can, just from a LinkedIn URL, it'll scan your URL, it'll scan your LinkedIn profile, it'll scan your company profile, it'll find any other information about you in a matter of seconds. But the trick is, you also have to, in that same program or in that same sequence, you have to tell this program or ChatGPT, because you can do this in a spreadsheet as well, how you write, right? Because otherwise it is going to come off robotic. I did a whole episode on how to get GPT-4 to write like you, right? So if you combine those two things, Monica's 100% right. AI, when done correctly, can cold email better than 99% of cold emailers, because I get probably about 30 cold emails a day, and I've never once replied to any of them, because all those people do is they just use placeholders, because the majority of people, I'm sorry, you guys might hate me on this, are just lazy. And if you're just going to use, if you're just going to put in first name, company name, city name, like why email? Why email?
Well, that's another entirely different conversation. But I'm highly experienced with this, and I don't want to waste. We're not wasting. I don't want to spend our valuable moments
no, I get you.
Because we could deviate it out into the weeds of my B2B life, and that's not what this show's about right now, right? So, want to make it really on point. And I think that we're still there, because a lot of solo creators are into, like, they have lead magnets and they're trying to make them. Okay, they're trying to deal with that. And to this point, yes, AI can cold email for you now. The caution that I have here is that you have to attend it, right? If you're going to do that, right, you have got to attend to those responses as if you are a human, which you happen to be, who is motivated to do something with that reply, right? And I see that so often in the B2B world, so much, because, like, I'll reply to an SDR outreach, and then I'll get another call, and then I'll get another cold email. Like, it's like I'm invisible, right? I'm like, hello, you emailed me, and I replied to it, and then I got their next thing in the sequence. And that is not good. That is bad luck, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're emailing using AI, know when it's going out and be ready to respond on when you get something. So there's my little.
Great advice. Yeah, and make sure you have your settings set up that if you're using it as a team as well, right? So if someone responds to SDR A, that SDR B doesn't keep cold emailing you, right? Great programs have that set up for a reason. So great advice, Trevor.
Okay. So I'm going to get Jesse Ulett on the show at some point. We'll talk about email, but for the moment, all right, I want to hear, because we are winding down. This is the last portion of the show. I really wanted to get your ideas for the solo creator, the LinkedIn, stalwart, the LinkedIn enthusiast. Is where should we be paying attention? And Dr. Rastafa, he offered Leonardo. I don't know what that is. Da Vinci. Okay, I never heard that before. I don't know what I don't know. I had Timothy Hogue, I think he was his name. He had Claude or Claudio or something.
Cloud, yeah.
He had that going, and then everybody's name has literally just evaporated from me. The Corey Warfield, he had some stuff. He cited some tools, and I got down into one, and it was pretty fun and pretty helpful. I already forgot the name of it. I might have a tab open somewhere in the 1,000 tabs that I've got, but I could find it. All right, so lay it out. Like, where do we need to focus? Like what's like who's ahead, and what's really going to help us? How's going to make our jobs easier?
Yeah, another hot take. Stop listening to people on LinkedIn. Stop listening to me too, right? Okay. Let me tell you what I mean. Social media is a cesspool for AI advice. Again, one of the reasons why I started Everyday AI. It's one of the reasons why I try to do so much live, and I try to not do, webinars or recordings or just here's a bunch of PDFs, because especially in the day and age of AI, I think it's important to connect as humans, first and foremost. But back to my original point, getting advice on anything online, for the most part, is bad advice. What you need to do, what you need to do, especially as a solo creator, and I get this, guys, I'm there. I'm on a small team, right? We're doing a lot. We have clients on Accelerant side. We're putting out daily content, a lot of daily content for Everyday AI. So I get it. I feel your pain. What we tend to do as humans is we research and we save all these, I have 500 saved carousels on LinkedIn, and I have 1,000 bookmark tweets for all these tools I need to try. Just stop doing that, right? Here's what you need to do. Reverse engineer your workflow. Start there. Don't pay attention to what I'm saying or what this person used AI to write with anyways, right? Start with where you are spending the most time in your day-to-day in manual work. Start there. Don't say, oh, Jordan said use this tool, or this social media superstar said these are the only 22 prompts I need. Don't go there. Track where you're spending the most time of manual repetitive work. Then start to categorize those places, right? And say, oh, I'm actually spending the most time reading. Who would have thought? Or I'm spending the most time in spreadsheets. Okay, right? Those things might shock you, right? Because a lot of times you're just ping-ponging as a solo creator. You're ping-ponging between 10 different tabs, 4 different monitors, 3 different computers. And it's like, what are you actually spending your time on? I tell people, use a time tracker. See where you're actually spending the most time on. What are those things that you're doing the most? And then after you've categorized them, and only then start saying, okay, what tool is best for helping me, get information from PDFs to spreadsheets to a pitch deck or whatever. What are you spending your most time in as a solo creator? Or what are the areas where you just need to spend more time in, but you can't? And don't start with a tool. Start with the manual process, right? Because that's the only way, if you really want to get a positive return on investment with generative AI, it's not by picking up a shiny new tool and just starting to use it and trying to fit it into your workflow. You just maybe created more work for yourself, actually. I don't know. You have to see where you are spending the most manual time and then reverse engineer it, right?
Okay, man, I love that. All right. So do you think, okay, I mean, where I spend most of my time in my job, like my day job, is finding the right people.
Yeah.
Right. And I spend a lot of time in LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, and I do all the right things, and I look for titles, and I look for functions, and I look for company that they work for, and I do all this. And I spend a lot of time doing that, right? And I'm very careful about who I select, right? And so when I do any kind of sequenced email, it's relevant, right? Because these people have been chosen, handpicked, if you will. Do you think? And I don't know if other people are doing it this way, but at some level, right? You're trying to find somebody to connect with,
sure,
for some reason. Do you see that as a challenge that's common, or am I just kind of on my own little island?
No, gosh, I'm literally, okay, I'm going to tell a quick story to answer the question. I am buying a new computer just so I can do better what you're doing. Because as an example, one of the things that I spend a lot of time on, which sounds pretty similar to one of your pain points, is the same thing. I'm trying to find highly qualified, smart, engaging people to talk on my Everyday AI show. Booking a great guest with a lot to offer and not just trying to sell something every single day is a time consuming task. So I get where you're coming from, right? So why am I buying a new computer? There's a great AI tool. I think this is one of the coolest things ever. People might find it creepy. I find it cool. It's called Rewind, right?
Okay.
So essentially what Rewind does, but it has to run on an M1 chip. And, here I am with my Intel chip, whatever that means, right?
I don't even know what an M1 chip is, but it sounds beefy. Whatever.
Yeah. You just need a newer computer. But I tested it out on my phone because I have a newer iPhone. And I'm like, wait, what? So essentially what this Rewind tool does, sounds creepy, everyone, but just stick with me.
All right. That's why we're here. We want the scoop.
It memorizes everything that has ever been on your computer.
Okay.
Yeah, let me say that again. So let's say I'm in Sales Navigator. I do this a lot. I might look at 200 different profiles, right? If I'm trying to do my outreach for the week and I'm trying to find great guests, I might look at 200, 300 profiles, right? That's a lot. People out there, if you're in sales or something else, you probably feel that. You're like, I do that daily, right?
Yeah.
So what it might, you might be creating lists inside Sales Navigator. You might be using automation tools, which I don't use, but you're probably using a lot of other tools in there. But a tool like Rewind, it knows right away, and then you can combine that with ChatGPT. You can ask Rewind, "Hey, out of everyone I looked at today, give me the 10 people that meet A, B, C criteria," and it will get it right.
Okay.
And it's wild, right? And then you can take that information, it runs on GPT-4, but then you can also use that information and pair it up with something like ChatGPT or a spreadsheet, and then chat with that spreadsheet in ChatGPT and have it write you cold emails or whatever, or messages. But that's just one way. Like what you said, I'm like, I feel that because that's something I'm feeling right now. And I'm trying to solve that problem. And I know one AI tool, again, that's where I'm spending my most manual time right now.
All right, so we're geeking out hardcore here, but it's really
Very
fun.
hard.
It's fun because I can see why it works. I think because it's running locally, right, on that M1 chip, based on what you already did. So it could actually be probably offline, right? You don't even have to. You're not violating anybody's TOS because it's just recording what it just sees what you already did, right?
It's essentially, think of it like this. It's it's as if you were screen recording everything that's ever been on your computer, but it has, OCR, and you can talk to PDFs, and it's wild. It's wild. Doing it on my phone, it's not as good because of iOS app concerns. It only does screenshots and Safari browser. But even with that, I'm like, this is wild. You can scroll social media. You can just scroll it fast and be like, who talked about this today? Write me a three sentence outreach to them.
You know what really gets insane is when you have a server and you have multiple people who blend their stuff.
Yeah. People like
aligned interests speak. They just blend it, and then you carved all that up.
It's wild. Like the possibilities once you start to see what is the right tool for my most repetitive tasks. Once you get it working, it's nice.
I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it. I feel like, automation runs amok, right? And so I'm deviating a little bit here, but I hate automation because it's used wrongly. Right, it is used against our targets. Right, it is used to do what we talked about earlier, which was, oh well, I'm just going to swap in your name and your company and blah. It's super boring and not personalized. It's totally lame, and it violates every TOS that LinkedIn has. This is a LinkedIn environment. Most of us are here, right? So it's against the rules. You get yourself shut down and banned. But automation, like Rewind, right, where you're just like mining what you did and to figure out, okay, what makes sense out of this stuff, right? Put it in a place in a way that I can use it. Love that. That's just great. So rethink this sort of automation / AI. And That's mind blowing, man. It's mind blowing. Okay, and so the M1 must be an Apple chip. Okay, I'm guessing, because I don't have and I've got a spot right over here where I could stick a new box, right? So
there we go. There we go.
I'd have to hook that up. All right. So we are just about done. I'm seeing some great conversations going on here between Amara and Mike Phillips, and Megan McGilver is still here. Dr. Mustafa just keeps pounding us right with his stuff. Oh yeah, let's hit that one. That was a new announcement. Did you talk about this in Everyday AI here? I want to say, here we go. Yeah, that was a little scary. Memorizing your passwords based on the sound. Was that real or was that fake?
No, it's real. Yeah. Okay. We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it on the show.
Okay, I missed that one.
Yeah, a study showed if you place a microphone, it can pick up after time the different sounds of different keys. So it can, it can know your password just based on the sound, the different sounds of different keys make when you press them.
Okay. But how is that a risk to me? I mean, if I've got to put a microphone on my, where does that happen? Like, how does a hacker do that to me?
Yeah.
Right. And what application is that a problem?
That's great. This is taking me back to when I used to build computers in high school. Yeah. So they would first have to install some sort of, well, not necessarily actually. Okay. So as an example, right, even as you're talking and we're on this live stream, I've been typing things up. I've been Googling things, right? But if I was typing a password in, someone, if they were listening in on this live stream and they just happen to, I don't know how they can do it. But even if they're just listening in on a live stream like this and I'm typing in my password, in theory, they could. Probably not so much because I have a microphone that is probably not picking up a lot of my keyboard sounds. But in every other instance, yes, they would need to install essentially a virus or something on their computer where then they could pick up the sound of your keystrokes. But if they're going that far, they're just going to install what's it called, like a keylogger that just captures every single key you ever touch. So it's just another scary way that AI, that essentially an algorithm can listen to you type and in theory can get your passwords.
Okay, got it. So we could be afraid. Maybe we are a little afraid, but at the same time, I think I'm going to sleep okay tonight. All right. So with that, I want to say thank you, Jordan. I want to answer Monica's question. And I want to say, Monica, thanks so much for coming out. This is the first time I've seen you in the audience. If you were here before, thank you for commenting. You've really dropped some good ones tonight. Everybody, Timothy Hogue showed up. Loved that. He's an AI, generative AI user. Dr. Mustafa. Love seeing David Ketchen coming in here from New Zealand, right? So he's here. And this, okay, so Monica, to your question, and to anybody who's still with us right now, I run the show at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time in defiance, okay, in specific defiance to all of the big creators who publish at 5 a.m. Pacific time. Now, no disrespect to you, Jordan, because you're at 5:30 and okay. All right, but and you've got a live show, and I picked, and it's a little different. But no, there's so much action that happens at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, my time. So that would be 7 o'clock a.m. your time, 8 o'clock Eastern, and literally by the time I get there, okay, it's over, right? It's like you go show up. I'm at the party, everybody left. There's beer bottles and. People passed out on the sofa. Nobody's paying attention to, all this. Okay. And I'm like, this sucks. I'm always 3,000 reactions and 550 comments in. The creator's long gone. They took off. They got sick of it, right? Everybody turned off the notifications and couldn't deal with it anymore. Okay. So this show exists to cater to all of my West Coast pals who are, it's after dinner, okay? It's a Tuesday, right? You're probably not out partying, right? Maybe, but probably not. You're probably at home, and and it also caters to the down under crowd because it's around noon, 12, 1 o'clock, whatever, down, there. So that group can really join in the heart of their day, and that's what that's why I do it right now, and I call it the early because. I wanted to call it the Late Show, and I was with my kids, and my kids
more copyright, right?
Yeah,
more copyright
yeah, more copyright infringement. And my kids were like, no, that's already been done. And I'm like, oh yeah, let's call it the Early. And they're like, yeah. And then I thought the Early Show, and then I thought, nah, let's just call it the Early. And then that made me laugh. I laughed at myself. I'm like, oh, there it is. Boom, that's the name. There we go. So with that, I want to celebrate the fact that everybody who's here is here together right now, right? It's not fake. We're not artificial. Okay. We're here in this moment, right? In this moment on Earth, in our time, August 15th, August 16th down under. Okay. But right now here, planet Earth, we are here together. And I celebrate our ability to do that. Abimbola, you were here. I don't know if you're still here because the blackouts might have come back, but listen, thank you. Right. Thank you for taking a moment to join in with Jordan and I and a lively conversation that I certainly enjoyed, learned a lot. Thank you so much, Jordan, for coming out. Any final sort of goodbye to this group of crazies?
Thanks. This is fun, right? Awesome. Like sometimes I don't say like everyday AI is like suit and tie. We try to have fun, but we also try to keep it jam-packed and informational. But this was fun. Yeah, like very cool. If I think I'm probably tagged in this, or I'll be in the comments. But yeah, feel free to hit me up. Like Trevor said, he kind of mentioned the PPP course, but it's been great. This was fun to just talk AI, talk about some crazy things. I had a blast, Trevor. So thank you for having me.
Thanks so much for coming out. All right, we are 1.5 minutes over. Don't go away, Jordan. Hang on. I'm going to push the thank you thing and sign off. So with that, everybody, have a lovely night, and I'll see y'all around LinkedIn Crazy Land. All right, guys. Good night.